Company directors excluded from government financial support during the pandemic could be thrown a lifeline if new proposals are adopted by the Treasury. Hi everyone, I'm Martin Bamford, and in this video, why a record number of small businesses are set to close in the UK this year unless the government steps in and does more to help keep them alive. A record number of small businesses in the UK are forecast to close this year. That's according to the Federation of Small Businesses. The organisation said the government needs to provide further assistance to small businesses to help them cope with the impacts of the pandemic, or 250,000 firms could be forced to close. One of the proposals put forward by the FSB is a support scheme to help those self-employed workers currently excluded from state aid. I'll come on to talk about that proposal in just a moment and why it could represent a lifeline for company directors who are currently excluded from government financial support. Based on a survey of 1,400 small businesses, the FSB found that 5% expect to close this year. These survey results were then extrapolated to reach the forecast of 250,000 SMEs lost in 2021. For some context, there are around 5.9 million small businesses in the UK. Losing 250,000 of them would be a tragedy, as it not only has an impact on the small business owner itself, but their families, their staff and their families, suppliers and the local economy. Mike Cherry, who is FSB National Chairman, said, "The development of business support measures has not kept pace with intensifying restrictions. As a result, we risk losing hundreds of thousands of great, ultimately viable small businesses this year at huge cost to local communities and individual livelihoods." He criticised the government for addressing small business challenges created by the latest national lockdown with a whimper, and called on support for the businesses beyond the resale, leisure and hospitality sectors. He added, "Company directors, the newly self-employed, those in supply chains and those without commercial premises are still being left out in the cold." The FSB is also worried about small company directors who are paid a dividend instead of a salary, who do not currently receive any support from the government. According to the FSB, this lack of government support applies to between 700,000 and 1.1 million company directors in the UK. The proposal put forward by the FSB, a Directors' Income Support Scheme, would pay grants of up to £7,500 to cover 3 months of lost dividend income. The scheme would be limited to those drawing dividends of less than £50,000 a year. After submitting proposals to the Treasury, the FSB is expecting a decision this month. According to the Treasury, there are no additional support schemes planned at the moment, but they added, "Our support schemes are designed to get help to those who need it most, whilst protecting the taxpayer from fraud. But of course, we keep everything under review and are always open to further ideas." Could we see a Directors' Income Support Scheme along these lines? I think we might. We've heard today from Labour leader Sir Keir Starmer, who's calling on the government to protect family incomes as it addresses the ongoing economic impact of the pandemic. Sir Keir has called for teachers, members of the armed forces and care workers to be excluded from its public sector pay freeze. He's also demanding that the government doesn't end the temporary £20 a week boost to universal credit that's currently due to finish in April. In his speech, Sir Keir said that government ministers must protect family incomes and support businesses from the economic impact of not only the current lockdown, but also from previous restrictions. He's also said that government policies must make a real difference to millions of people across the country and put families at the heart of our recovery. Sir Keir Starmer also wants the government to suspend the planned 5% increase to council tax in England this April and to extend the current ban on evictions and repossessions. Responding to these calls from Labour, Conservative Party co-chairman Amanda Milling says that these are actions already taken by the government, saying, "We have delivered an unprecedented £280 billion package of support to protect jobs, livelihoods and public services through this pandemic." That package of financial support, of course, includes the furlough scheme, temporary increases to universal credit payments and additional funding for local authorities. She added, "The Conservatives will continue to put families and communities at the heart of every decision we take as we deliver on our promises to the British people." Watch this space. I would be very surprised if we don't hear more from the Chancellor, especially if, as many expect, lockdown measures become stricter in the coming days in an effort to put a lid on rising coronavirus cases and the extreme pressure being placed on the NHS. What additional measures do you think Chancellor Rishi Sunak needs to announce in order to secure the future of so many small businesses, along with those currently facing financial difficulties due to the pandemic, who are excluded from support schemes? Let me know in the comments. Are we following each other on Twitter yet? You can find me there at Martin Bamford. It's the place I tend to hang out most online. Let's start a conversation there at Martin Bamford. Thank you for watching this video. Until next time, I'm Martin Bamford, and remember, when it comes to your money, the more you know, the faster it can grow. Keir said that government ministers must protect family incomes and support businesses from the economic He criticised the government for addressing small business challenges in an effort to put a lid on it's a long sentence.